What is eager loading and lazy loading in Angular? So eager loading is a feature where Angular loads the modules before the application starts running. So eager loading is a default module loading strategy. So we develop our application using the TypeScript file. So Angular will convert all those TS files into the JS files and bundle those into the main.js file, and that main.js file will be loaded before application starts running in the browser. Okay, so that is nothing but a eager loading. So lazy loading is a feature where Angular loads the module on demand after the application starts. So this module will be loaded only when user performs some actions on the browser like clicking on a button, navigate into different browsers, etc. So it will improve the application performance because main.js file will become smaller. So rendering time on the browser will increase when application starts. So now I will show example for eager loading and the lazy loading. So for eager loading, I will create two modules. So for that, I will go to the app folders first. And then I will execute ng generate module command. Okay. So here I will create employee module along with the routing file. So inside this app folder, employee folder will be created, and under this two files will be created. One is routing module and another one is employee module. So in the same way, I will create another module, that is staff module. Okay. So I will create a routing file. See, inside the staff folder, routing file is created and the module file is created. Okay. So now inside the staff module, I will print one message in the console. Okay. So in the same way, I will print one message in the console for the employee module also. Okay. So when this module gets loaded, this message will be printed on the console tab. So after this, I will register this employee module and the staff module inside the root module. Okay. So here in this case, app.module is the root module. So inside this app module, I will register employee module and I will also register the staff module. Okay. So after this is done, I will use this inside the import array. So here I will use employee module as well as the staff module. So once this is done, I will go to the browser. So I will open the console tab. So this is the console tab. See here we can able to see both the messages. Okay. So here when we are loading this home component, both the employee module and the staff modules are getting loaded automatically. Okay. So here home component is nowhere connected with this employee module and the staff module. But even though these modules are getting loaded, that is nothing but a eager loaded in Angular. Okay. So in case of eager loaded, so whatever the TS files that are available inside this employee module and the staff module, that are converted into the JS files, and that will be bundled inside this main.js file. So since this main.js file will become large, so rendering time will be slow, which may degrade the application performance. So in order to improve the application performance, we have to make use of lazy loading. So for that, first we have to remove this both the modules from the app module.ts file. Okay. So I removed. Now I will go to the browser. So if you go to the console, see here both the modules are not getting loaded. That is because we have removed both the modules from the app module. So somewhere we have to load those modules. Okay. So for that we have to go to this app.routing module.ts file. So here I will load those modules. Okay. So first I will create a path for employee module, and here I will use load children method. Okay. So here I will import that employee module. So inside this we have module. Okay. So this is the module file that will be loaded. So here I will use then method. So employee module is a module. Okay. So this employee module will be loaded when we type employee in the URL. Okay. So in the same way I will do it for the staff module. Okay, so here I will use load children. I will import the staff module first. So this is the staff module. I will load the staff module. Okay, so once this is done, I will go to the browser. See now, here I will type employee. Okay, see here we can able to see the employee module. Okay, so employee module is getting loaded. Now I will type staff module. Okay, see here staff module is getting loaded. Okay, so here this is nothing but a lazy loading. Okay, so that we are loading the staff module based on the demand. Okay, so we are not loading the staff module automatically. So based on the user inputs we are loading the staff module. Okay, so here in case of this lazy loading, so this staff module TS file will be converted into JS files, and that will be bundled inside this main.js file. Okay, so here main.js file will become small, so that rendering time on the browser will be improved. Okay, so this will improve the application performance. So this is all about lazy loading in Angular. Okay, so next, so what is a CanLoad route guard in Angular? CanLoad route guard protects the routes completely, such as lazy load in the module, and also protects all the routes associated with that module. So if the guard returns true, then we can able to access the routes, or else we cannot able to access the routes. Okay, so I will show example for the CanLoad route guard. So for that, here I will create one folder. So I will give the name as service. Okay, so inside this I will create a file, load users.ts file. Okay, so here I will create a class. So I will decorate a class with @injectable decorator. So for that we have to import injectable, and then we have to decorate this class with injectable decorator. Okay, and now I will import the CanLoad, so that is available in router. Okay, so here I will implement that interface CanLoad, and here I will implement CanLoad method. Okay, so here as of now I will make the return type as boolean. So I will remove this, and I will set the return type to true. Okay, so now I will register this load user service class inside the app module.ts file. So first I will import it, and then inside the provider section I will register the service. Okay, so once this is done, I will go to the app routing module.ts file. So first here I will import that service, and then I will use the service in the lazy loading module. Okay, so this is the lazy loading module. So here I will use CanLoad. Okay, and here I will pass that service. So here inside this array I am using this load users service class. Okay, so now I will try to access this employee module. So here, see here we can able to access this employee module, right? So now I will go to that service class. So this is the service class. So here I will make the value to false. Okay, see now I will try to access that employee module. Okay, see here we are unable to load that module. That is because we have set the value to false. Okay, so that is the reason we are unable to access that employee module. So now I will try to access that staff module. See, it is working fine, but in case of employee module it will not work. That is because we have set the value to false. Okay, so now I will set the value to true again, so that we can able to access that employee module once again. So now I will go to the browser. Now I will try to access that employee module. See here we can able to access the employee module. Okay, so this is all about CanLoad activate guard in Angular. Okay, so next, what is HTTP client? So HTTP client is used for performing HTTP requests and responses. So HTTP client service is available in @angular/common/HTTP package. So first we have to import this HTTP client module in the app module. So then only we can able to access this HTTP client service in our components. Okay. So the return type of the responses will be in observable. So first I will show example for the HTTP get method. Okay. So for that we have to go to the app module and we have to import HTTP client module. Okay. So once we import this client module, so we have to use it inside the imports array. Okay. So now after I will create one service class. So I will name it as employee data. So here I will create a class. Okay. And I will import injectable, and then I will decorate a class with this @injectable decorator, and then here I will use that HTTP get method. Okay. So first we have to import HTTP client. Okay. So once we imported, we have to create a constructor, and inside the constructor we have to provide a dependency for that HTTP client. Okay. So here we are providing the dependency for the HTTP client. So now I will create one method. Okay. So here I will return the data. Okay. So this dot http dot get. So here we have to use get method. Okay. So here we have delete, get, patch, post, put, right? So as of now we have to make use of get method to get the data from the endpoints. Okay. So for that I will go to the browser. Here I will use the take API. Okay. So if you go to this website, so here I will make use of this users. Okay. So I will copy this endpoint and here I will paste it over here. Okay. So once this is done, we have to call this service method inside the component. Okay. So here I will go to the home component. So I will go to the home component.ts file. So first I will import that service. Okay. So before importing, we will register this employee data service inside the app module. Okay. So then only it will work. So here I will import employee data service and I will use it inside the provider section. Okay. Since this is a service, we have to use it inside the provider section. So now I will go to the home component. So here I will import that employee data service. So now I will create a constructor and I will provide the dependency injection for that employee data service. Okay. And now here I will create one method, get all users method. Okay. Get all users method from service. So here I will use this dot employee dot this is the method. Okay. Get all users. So since the return type of this method will be an observable, so we have to subscribe to that observable. Okay. So then only it will work or else it will not work. Okay. So here I will create one property like users property. Okay. I will assign the data to the users. Okay. So once this is done, I need to call this method when we click on a button. So for that I will go to the home component.html file. So here I will create a button. Okay. Get data. So here I will use click event handler and I will call this method when we click on a button. So now I will display the button on the UI. Okay. So for that I will create a table. So if you go to the browser, Now I will display only the name and the username. Okay, so I will create name and the username. Okay, and here I will use tr. So to this tr I will use ng for directive. Okay, so here I will use let user of users, right? So this is the property that we have used inside the home component.ts file, right? So this is the property that contains the data. So I will be accessing this inside the HTML file, and now I will use this variable user dot name. Okay, so this is the column name that we have inside the endpoint. So in the same way I will use user dot username. Okay, so now I will go to the browser. So here I will try to access the home component. Okay, so this is the button. When we click on the button, see, this is the data that we are getting it from this endpoint. Okay, so in the same way I can make use of post endpoint. Okay, so I will go to that employee service. So this is the employee service. So here I will copy this method. So for the post method we should have a body. Okay, for the get method we will not have a body, but for the post method we have a body. So here I will pass the body. Okay, so here instead of get I will use post. Okay, so endpoint will remain same, but here I will pass the body. Okay, so now I will call this service inside the home component.ts file. Okay, so here I will create one method called post method. Okay, so here I will call that call post method. So before that I will go to the HTML file. So here I will create two properties, one with name. So here I will create a text box. Okay, and in the same way I will create a text box for the username. Okay, so now we have to pass this text box value to the ts file. Okay, so for that I will create two properties over here. So here I will create name, and also I will create username. Okay, so in order to pass the value from the HTML file to ts file we can make use of ng model. Okay, this is the two-way data binding. So here I will use name. So in the same way I will use ng model. To this I will pass the username. Okay, so these are the properties that we defined inside the ts file. So once this is done I will pass the body. Okay, here it can be anything, name. I will pass this dot name. Okay, so in the same way I'll pass the username. Okay, so these are the two properties that I will pass to that post method. Okay, so now I will call this dot employee dot I will call the post data. Okay, so to this I will pass the body. So here we are passing the text box values to the endpoint. Okay, so we have to subscribe. So simply I can put console.log data. Okay, so once this is done I need to call this method. So for that I will go to that HTML file. So here I will create another button. Okay, post. So here I will use click event handler. To this I will pass the post function. Okay, ng model. Okay, so after this we'll go to the browser. Here I will go to the network tab. Okay, so I will clear this. Now I will type that. Okay, So now I will click on the post button. See, if you observe, the status is 201. Okay, so if you go to this, see here, this is the endpoint that we are passing, and post is a method 201. That means it is successfully created. Okay, so as we can see the status over here, 201 is created. Okay, so this is all about the post method. Okay, so in the same way we can do it for the delete, patch, put, etc. Okay, so this is all about the HTTP methods in Angular. So now, so what is HTTP interceptor in Angular? HTTP interceptors allows to intercept incoming or outgoing HTTP requests using the HTTP client. So we can create an interceptor using the ng generate interceptor command. So by using this HTTP interceptor, we can perform the below things. So we can modify the HTTP headers, we can modify the request body, we can modify the response. So we can set the authentication or authorization token. So these are the things that we can do with the help of this HTTP interceptors. Okay. So now I will show example for HTTP interceptor. So for that I will go to the terminal. So first I will navigate to app folder. So here I will execute ng generate interceptor command. Okay. So here I will pass it as token. Okay. So this is the name. If we go inside this app folder, so we can able to see the token.interceptor.ts file. Okay, so this is a file that is created. Okay, so now first I need to register this token interceptor inside the app module. So for that, first we have to go to this app module. Okay, so first I will import. So I import this token interceptor. Then inside this provider section, okay, so here we have to make use of provide. Okay, so here we have to use HTTP interceptor. Okay, and here we have to use class. So the class that we have to use is token interceptor. Okay, and here we have to set the multi equal to true, so then only it will work, or else it will not work. Okay, so once this is done, we will go to that interceptor class. So here this is a class which implements HTTP interceptor. Okay, so it contains one method, that is intercept, which accepts two parameters. One is the request and another one is the handler. Okay, so here we cannot modify this HTTP request, that is because this is immutable. So in order to modify, we have to make use of the clone method. Okay, so I will show example for it. First I will create one token. So here I have created one token. Okay, and next here I will use request dot clone method. Okay, so this is a method by which we can pass the headers. So here I will use the set headers. To this I will pass the token. So now I will pass this request variable to the handle method. Okay, so this is the method which is available in the HTTP handler class. Okay, so now after this I will go to the browser. So when we click on this get data button, so request will go to this endpoint. It will get all the data from this endpoint and it will show the data on the UI, right? So now I will click on the get data button. So before that I will clear this console. So now I will click on this get data button. So this is the endpoint. Okay, status is 200. And if you go to the request headers, so this is the request header. See, this is the token that we have passed it, right? So using the interceptor we are passing this token. So in the same way we can do it for the post also. Okay, so suppose I will type some value, and when we click on this post button, so this is the post method. Status is 201 that is created, and if you go to the request header, see here you can able to see the token. Okay, so with the help of this interceptor we can pass this token to each and every HTTP request. Okay, so we can also make use of the multiple interceptors. Okay, I will go to the terminal. So here I will execute ng generate interceptor command. I will use logging. Okay. See, logging interceptor is created. Okay. So I will register this inside the app module. So first I will import that logging interceptor, and then I will use it inside the providers. Okay. So in the same way we can do it for the logging interceptor also. So first I will use provide. To this I will pass HTTP interceptor. Okay. So this is the HTTP interceptor, and I will use the class as logging interceptor. Okay. So here I will pass multi equal to true. Okay. So once this is done, I will go to that logging interceptor class. So this is the logging interceptor. Okay. So now I will change the response body. So in order to change the response body, we have to make use of pipe along with the map. Okay. So this is the operator which is available in RxJS. Okay. It accepts a callback function. So here I will print one message in the console. Okay. Console.log. So I will provide this message in the console. Okay. Return the event. Okay. So once this is done, so after this I will go to the browser. Okay. So now I will clear this console and I will click on this get data button. See here we can able to see the data, and the logger interceptor is getting called twice. Okay. So that is because if you go to the network tab, so one it is getting called for preflight and another is for XHR. Okay. So this is the valid request. So in order to show the log only once, so we will change the, we will add one condition over here. If event instance of HTTP response. Okay. So then only we will call this. So now I will go to the browser now. I will clear this console once again, and now I will click on the get data button. See here this service is getting called only once. Okay. So this is example for HTTP interceptor in Angular.